Unplug this. Okay, now there is sound. Now I hear sound coming through. So perhaps I might have to change the microphone. I mean, I do see the sound seeming to come through right now. It might be our. And don't worry, Facebook peeps. We've been you didn't miss much. We're just trying to make sure that we do have sound. So I think this is what I will do in order to make sure that we do have sound for Facebook. Check mic. Okay, good. I think you guys can now hear me. We'll just so we can get started. So does this sound like you? Do you live abroad? You're an African professional and you've been wanting for the longest time to have a property back home that you can call your own. But you've just never been able to do it. Number one fear is that you'll be scammed, because guess what? Scams in real estate are a dime a dozen, let me say. It's for some reason it's an area which tends to really bring people out of the woodwork. The worms, it brings the worms out of the woodwork, doesn't it? And the thing is, even as I've started to do this and share my real estate journey, I have been getting under scrutiny, because people are just reaching out to ask, oh, hey, do you know this lady called Jacqueline Tsuma? What is she doing? What is she up to? I'm like, you know what? Search all you want. In fact, I'd be like, if you're not searching, I'd be like, why not? Hey, Isabel, nice to see you. Thanks for joining in. So if you're not searching, then you should always do your due diligence, right? But I'm going to tell you one thing. This is just free advice. It's like, once you do your due diligence, and if you're happy with what you find, or you cannot find anything negative, then you know what? If you don't move forward, it's just an excuse. What's happening is that you're really not giving yourself any, you're allowing yourself to really get pushed back by what other people, the fears that other people have experienced, or even your own, whatever you have experienced that's negative. So you're just basically you're choosing fear. That's what I would say. So do your due diligence. But after that, seriously, if you find that everything is fine, then anything stopping you is going to be you. Great. So that said, how do we get trusted partners? Now, the reason why this comes up is it's actually one of the top reasons that a lot of diaspora choose not to invest back home, because they're far away. And the truth is, when you're far away, it's really, really easy to be told one thing and for something entirely different to be existing on the ground. And that's why we decided that, you know what, one of the key things that we wanted to bring to diaspora who are based abroad is just the access to trusted networks, because this can be expensive. I mean, can I actually count the number of ways how expensive it can be when it comes to the way that how expensive it can be by not having the right networks. Oh, awesome. Nice to have you all the way from Kuwait, eh? Good to have you on. So how expensive it can be when you don't have the right networks. We lost almost $10,000 just in the past 2 years from deals gone bad. Number one, a rogue contractor comes up and they want to provide us this service. They've been recommended, but apparently the people who are recommending them are not trustworthy. So we ended up losing about $6,000 just to that rogue contractor. Wanted them to do some renovations, kept sending the money. The work wasn't getting done. We didn't know it. We lost money. And also from deals, just from starting off on deals that we didn't really think through before we started off on them. And what happened is the lawyer fees still need to be paid, even though seller pulls out or buyer pulls out or partners pull out. And then, you're left really at a place where you can't really do much. You know what I mean? So those are some of the things, some of the ways in which you can lose when it comes to real estate investment, and when it comes to not having the right partners. But how do you do it? I'm not going to lie to you. Like, most of the diaspora clients I would speak to will tell me, I have been chasing this partner for ages. I've been chasing this, maybe banking or financing partner, or I've been chasing this, constructing, a contractor, or just to get movement, just to get progress, because for some reason they're just not getting the kind of progress that they'd love to be getting. So what we normally like to tell them is, look, you guys, it's kind of like searching for a needle in a haystack to find a good partner. The easiest way is to get referrals. The easiest way is to work with people that other people who you know and trust have worked with and have really, really appreciated. And this has been a really key factor for us that has helped us. After losing, almost $10,000, up to $10,000, in fact more. If I counted it right now, it would be much more than that. And after losing that amount, we realized that, it's actually better to again, like I mentioned, get those referrals and see what it is that people have been doing. And what I'm going to do is actually share the screen here on I want to share the screen on Facebook right now so that I can share with you guys some of the ways that we have been able to make use of partners. And as this for those just joining in, what I was saying is, in case you cannot catch the entire stream, in case you want to just cut to the chase and see the exact model we are using right now for reaching out, for actually investing back home, then I invite you to come for our masterclass happening tomorrow. It's going to be 9 p.m. Kenyan time, which is 8 p.m. Southern African time, right? And in the evening. And we'll do about an hour where I'm going to take you through the exact steps, where you can actually be able to get the inputs and the feedbacks that you need to get, right? So real quick, I want to pull up, and that's my daughter singing. I don't know if you guys can hear her in the background. I really cannot for the life of me stop her from singing. She's adding a nice soundtrack to the back, isn't it? In the back end, right? Okay. So get help from experts. Actually, not just experts, but trusted experts. Now, this is what I wanted to share with you guys. Trusted experts. How do you actually find something that you need? How do you get someone to help you that you need help from who's not located where you are? How do you do it? And now, I'm just asking that because, really this scenario is something we face every day. I'm thinking I'm based here in Harare, and if sometimes I want to get something done in Kenya, it can be such a nightmare unless I have someone available on the ground, right? So you cannot do this alone. And one thing that I wanted, of course, let me share this real quick on Facebook so that you guys can actually see. Yes, you cannot do this alone. You literally cannot do this alone. You need trusted experts, and this is why we're talking about get help from experts. You wouldn't, if you have kids, would you just get someone off the street and say, okay, now teach my kids? Or would you go to an expert teacher? And kids are a very good way to describe it, because kids are oftentimes they're dear to our hearts. So like, this is my entire legacy. So we're going to do our best to make sure that they have the best, right? And so you wouldn't do that for your kids. You wouldn't just get someone off the street. So why would you do the same for your real estate investments? Why would you go with experts who are not tried and tested? Because how are they really experts? What really makes them an expert? Do they have a track record, right? So what you want to do is, we've talked about, of course, yesterday, day one. It was actually on Monday. We talked about having the right financial partners, right? And we talked about going out there to compare and make sure that you have the absolute best deal on your property, on your financing, on the different things. And we've also talked about, it's just the tip of the iceberg, by the way, just to say, sorry, I wanted to say this. Well, there's so little time. There's so many things to do in so little time. And really, when it comes to real estate investments, there's such a large number of things. There's so many moving parts, and it can literally leave your head spinning, even if you've done it before, because each transaction is different. So the truth is, without trusted networks, you are doomed to failure. This is just what happens. And some of the things, look at it, from the buying to the setting up to the managing to the marketing. There's all these different things that you need attended to. And so you need to get help, because, real estate, mistakes in real estate, they're not of the $100 variety. They are of the $1,000, $10,000, $100,000 variety, right? They are very expensive, and it's revenue lost as well. The longer it takes you to actually get through the process of investing and monetizing, the less time, the more money that you're losing when your property could already have been bringing funds into you, right? So, because you didn't know, right? So again, like I was sharing earlier, we lost over 10K in our first year in property investment. And this is how it broke down. We actually paid an extra $2K to a property value. We had no prior relationship with them. But since then, because they gave us the book rate, but since then we've been able to move past that with trusted networks. Then we also paid about 4K in legal costs gone bad. People were just like, yeah, sorry, I'm not interested anymore. Bye-bye. And yet we have legal costs to pay, right? And then we also know that we have made over $100,000, right? And counting from our property. And we have the system to rinse and repeat. And this is really where this really stands. It's the most significant. It's more about not what you're losing, but what you stand to gain. Okay? After you've done the research, always, you need to be a person that's constantly forward thinking of the positive, thinking of what you can actually make back. So it's a sector you don't want to make a mistake. Really, the truth is, everyone wants a piece of you. They'll tell you what you want to hear. And that's why I'm like, You want to go beyond that to what other people are saying about them, right? And then, do you really know, and do they really know what challenges you're facing? I mean, the truth is most partners, they're targeting diaspora, and they really they don't know. They're not diaspora. They've never walked a mile in your shoes. So how will they know how the shoes fit? Okay. Then if you find trusted partners, you need to also hold on to them for dear life. Or, by the way, use our networks. And that's what I'm going to tell you a little bit, how you can use our networks. And the truth is we only work with top experts. This is a testimonial from one of the top experts that we had on our virtual summit that we held last year, the Kenya Diaspora Home Ownership Summit. And, and now we're actually, of course, branching out to Africa as a whole. And this was a gentleman that is a developer, real estate investor, business executive, really, and was able to say, you know what, I had the pleasure to work with Jacqueline. And I can also say I had the pleasure to work with him and really learn together with him what it is that he's been able to do. And comes highly recommended, somebody that is known to me and that I can say, yes, they have a vision to always deliver, which is very, very important. So that's the most important thing that you want to be able to do, you guys, is to get trusted partners. And how? One could ask, how can you get trusted partners? I'm going to quickly just switch back to video here. How can you get trusted partners for your investments? And how can you know that the people that you're working with are trusted? Well, first things first is obviously do your due diligence. But don't do your due diligence with an aim to disprove that they are trusted. Just find out, is there anything about them? Obviously, if you just find out about me now and I'm telling you about real estate investment and you know nothing about me, well, do this. Go search me out on LinkedIn. Search my contacts. See, so, who is it that can corroborate or verify that this person is who they say they are. If I said I worked in the UN and I do not have any UN colleagues, that's probably a big fat, lie. So I find LinkedIn a very good way to really corroborate what a person is. So I invite you, as you listen to this and you're wondering, are we a trusted network in the first place before we start sharing our trusted networks? Go do it. Listen to testimonials. Come and research all the different people who we've helped, who were telling the story, and actually come tomorrow to our masterclass because I'm going to be sharing some of the stories of those people we've worked with and the real, the real outcomes that they have been able to get in their real estate investments, right? Just through working with us. Some, it's just as much as maybe saving that extra $4,000, $5,000 a year in interest potential, in interest rates, just because they didn't know that they could get cheaper interest rates, but suddenly now they know. So definitely do research them, find out what they're about. And number 2, of course, seek referrals. Seek referrals from people you trust. If I get a referral from my mother, I'm more likely to trust it than if I get a referral from my gardener. And can I just say the first contractor we ever hired was a referral from our gardener in Diani. And that was not a good choice. So obviously, if you're going to be getting a referral from your gardener versus your mother, you want to think twice about it because sometimes people have something in it for them. And if you read the post that I shared on my Facebook page recently, I was talking about how really the power of trust is quite phenomenal. It's quite powerful. Like if I come to a person, when my clients put their trust in me, then I am going to rise to that occasion. I am trustworthy, obviously. I mean, I consider myself to be someone of character. However, ultimately, it's about how other people see you. So when my client puts their trust in me to get them the outcomes they're looking for, I am going to do every single thing that I can to make sure they get that outcome. And one of the ways we do this is just by not taking commissions from clients if it's going to help, unless actually not taking commissions for clients in order to reduce the cost that comes that our own clients pay. Not taking commissions from partners in order to reduce the costs that our clients get, charged, right? So, for example, if there's a client that is seeking to do interior design, and maybe as an interior designer, she's offering us a rebate or some kind of finder's fee, then we'll just say, please reduce your rate by the amount you would have given us, so that for the clients they're just getting the most reasonable one. And those are just some of the ways that you continue to build that trust and see that indeed, especially on your end, I would say on your end, when you see just really the level of service that you can get from someone that you want to work with. What is the level of service? Are they just really saying, I'm just going this far and no further? Or are they just going above and beyond? For them, it's really beyond the paperwork. It's beyond the 8 to 5 and I only give you 2 hours of my time. But for them, they actually are moving way beyond that to a place where now they're talking about, okay, this is what I am. They talk about just really helping you achieve the outcome. So it's not really about the nitty gritties of, how many hours did you work for me or how many hours did I support you? But it's more of getting the actual outcome. And that's what I would urge you guys to do. And if this is you, if this sounds like you, that you've been holding yourself back from getting started with your real estate investments because you're fearing being scammed, or because you're fearing getting exposed, or because you're fearing that you're going to lose your hard-earned savings, or just because of fear, then you know what? There is a way out. And I want you not, first of all, if you don't want a way out, then that one is on you, my friend. It is on you. Make no mistake. We all have to make a decision. But when you are ready to move past that fear, when you have done the relevant due diligence, research, or whatever, then you need to reach out and get that help that you need. Okay. So I'm going to urge you guys. One of the ways that you can do that is get on a call with me and my team. We've set aside time for you guys this week to talk to you and give you 1 hour of our time, completely free of charge, to help you come up with a strategy that can work. And the way to get access to that, to book that time, is to go to jacquelinetsuma.com/book, right? And if you go to jacquelinetsuma.com/book, you'll come up with a calendar page and you can choose a time right there that works best for you. Okay? Sorry, is there a problem with no, everything's fine? Perfect. Good. I was just wanting to confirm because when it comes to audio, it can be so tricky. But I think today we're able to actually have a stream and actually have audio. I have no idea what's happening with my camera, with my lapel mic, but maybe it's time to get a new one. Yeah. So it was so good to have you guys. Reach out. Do not stay scared. Do not stay stuck in fear. Do your due diligence, but don't stop there. Move forward. Make a decision. Otherwise, everything you're doing is just an excuse to stay exactly where you are, right? So where are you going to be at the end of this year? Reach out. Let's talk. jacquelinetsuma.com/book. And then go on over to my page, facebook.com/Jacqueline Tsuma. And you'll find, I think we'll pin the post, right? To invite you to we'll actually stream it live on Facebook as well, the masterclass, where you'll be able to, I'm going to take you through just the whole, there's a summary of just the 5 steps that we're advocating for, and help you really see how it can fit in your plan this year and get you on the path to your dreams. Okay. It was awesome to hang out with you guys. Thanks so much for being here. And, I'm just going to say bye to our Facebook peeps, our Instagram peeps. So good to have you. Thanks for checking in. And also our Twitter peeps. Not sure if, that stayed on. Not sure, but yeah. Awesome.